I'm a child of the 70s, so I was a teenager in the 70s. But it was just what everybody was doing at the time. So, I fell right into it. There was a certain degree of social acceptability and comfort that came with my first drug uses. It took away a lot of the awkwardness of being an adolescent, being a young teenager and everything. I started using when I was 12, and I don't think there were any gaps in usage up until I was 25 and went to treatment. I was always doing some type of substance. So those years, were spent for me using. That was the main focus of my life. After the drugs were gone and the substances were gone, I had to really, really look at where I was. There was no more getting up, figuring out what I was going to use today. I got up, and figured out what I was going to do for my recovery. I took the treatment route, and I was introduced to 12-step recovery. At the time, that was about the only thing that was being taught in treatment centers at the time, early 80s. So that's where I got my start. My family was very supportive of it. They had known that I was having issues long before I realized I was having any issues. Luckily, my mother and father were still alive, so I started going by my mom's and dad. They lived in the same town I was in. I just dropped by a couple of times a week after I moved out. That's where I moved to when I first got out of treatment. I just drop in and see folks. Also, my extended family, I'd started going around them because my addiction had kept me from associating with certain parts of my family that didn't do what I did at the time. And I started hanging out and just letting people get to know me, and I got to know them. The people at work were super supportive of rallying around me and helping me manage the situations. In the years that I've been in recovery, I have seen that work both ways. I've seen organizations and communities rally around folks with substance use disorder, and I've also seen people just totally alienated with substance use disorder, so it's got a lot to do with the community and the way that they feel about substance use. I've also lost a son to opioid addiction. He died from an overdose in 2013. And then I've lost my sister, also died from a prescription overdose of opioids in 2018. And also her husband had died the year before from prescription overdose. So this is an epidemic that needs to be stopped any way we can. So I feel that me sharing about this may open somebody's ears or heart. I think the more people talk about this, the more people share about this, the more people know that, that your next door neighbor may be in recovery. The word needs to get out that people do recover from substance use. There is treatment for it, there is recovery from it, and it should be treated the same. Just give somebody a hug, tell them you love them, and ask what you can do for them.